Alright, hello. We're back with Flight Sim here. We're going to go from Miami to San Juan. Hello, Citrus. How are you? Let's go ahead and let's get in the cockpit. I want to get this going here. We want to get those IRSs aligned. So let's go ahead and start with Bliss. Make sure we get... Alright, let's go. Alright. Alright, batteries on. We've got the external power nav and logo lights on. 1. Right, APU fire test and engine fire test need to be performed, so we'll get those going. Engine 1 fire test. APU 1 fire test. Alright, that's good. Fuel pumps all on. Alright, fuel pumps are on. APU, we're going to go to start and we'll crank it. Start. Master on and start. Alright, we'll go to the APU page and we'll watch it come up. If I can find it in time. There we go. APU page and ECAMs right there. Right, 8 ears. Let's get those rocking and rolling. That takes time. That's the one. That's the thing we want to get moving on first to get the IRS aligned. All right, IRSs are all going. Galley will power the galley so they can make coffee. All right, auction low PR supply. All right, low PR supply. Probe heat all on, followed by windshield heat all on. Alright, emergency exit lights. Let's arm those. Alright, strobes to auto. No smoking's coming on. To auto. No white lights in the overhead panels. Confirmed. APU bleed. We're waiting for the APU to come all the way on before we do the bleed. That's we're waiting on that. Let's start getting this flight plan put in. Alright, we'll go to initialization. We are going from KMIA to TJSJ, TJ. Where the hell's J? SJ, SJ. Alright, TJSJ right there. Alright, that is in. Let's see, 15. Cruise, I'm going to have to fix it again in the air. I keep forgetting to do it when I flight plan. Let's go. 350, and let's, I keep forgetting to fix the tail sign too, but whatever. Now we'll get that IRS aligning. I'm going to do that ASAP. Let me get this weight and balance done. Alright, we'll go full packs. Come on, give me full packs. There you go. Let's see. Fuel, let's go. I don't know. We'll go into the water. Let's just do 40,000's fine. Should be fine, we hope. Alright, that's good. Alright, yep. Let's go ahead and we'll go to the flight plan. KMIA. Out of here, we're going to be doing the Clada 2. Alright. And that's going to be off of runway 27. Alright, there's 27. And I want the... There better be the Clada 2. The Clada 2 right there. Clada 2. Alright, insert the Clada 2. Alright, that's good. Let's go to TJSJ. Alright, let's go to the star for the arrival. We're going to be landing on runway 10, so we want ILS 10. And then we're going to be doing the Bean 03. Bean 03. We'll insert that. All right. Let's go ahead and get this fixed here. All right. So we're going from Clada, and then we skip out to... I'm going the wrong way. Clada, and then we skip to Beano. So I got to put in the intermediary points there. All right. So there's Clada. So Medley, M-E-D-L-I, M-E-D-L-I, M-E-D-L-I. Medley. Put that in. Let's see. What we'll do is click on it. All right. Can't click on that one, but I can click on this. So let's look. See, it's north 25. So we want the 25 north one. The other one would be way further south. So BITAC, B-I-T-A-C, B-I-T-A-C, BITAC. All right, and that one, they're the same, so just pick one's fine. L-E-P-A-S, L-E-P-A-S, L-E-P-A-S. All right. BOSAR, B-O-S-A-R, B-O-S-A-R, BOSAR. Donez, D-O-N-E-Z, D-O-N-E-Z. 20, they're both the same. Looks good. Gurat. They're both the same. Looks good. Ducky. Ducky. They're both the same. That's good. Indy. 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 We want the 23 north for Indy. Guyana. Guyana. 22 north. That's good. Butler. B-T-L-E-R. B-T-L-E-R. Butler. Micus. Egan. What is that? I can't see because I can't zoom in. Rattle. R-A-T-T-L. Rattle. Mag. Cockboo. Seabug. Seabug. Seabug swim. Right. Rady. Hardy. And then Shmoo, and then, okay, good. H. Alright, so we just got GPS primer. That means the IRS finally aligned. H-A-R-D-E, Hardy. Alright, and then we've got S-H-M. And we just got the Navicar upgraded. That's the other part we need. Okay, good. S-H-M-U-U. U-U. So IRSs are aligned. Alright, the next one should be Beano, and we're good. Make sure that's Beano. Beano. Okay, we can clear the discontinuity. And we're good. Alright, and then next is Milet. Alright, perfect. Excellent timing on that. Okay, so that is done. Let me go ahead and we'll go to takeoff approach. Let's go ahead and get the weather real fast here. So it's going to be 27. All right. Now let's go ahead and do the information here. So let's go ahead. I got to grab, here, bring it up so you guys can see it. All right. Do Miami. Where is the, there it is, okay. All right, so we're taking off of runway 27. We've got 13,016 feet, 2724. 1316 and 2724. 1316. 1316. 274. All right, let's see. That's good. That's good. Weight. What's our weight? We are going to be weighing in at 280. So 280. Oh, shit. What did I just screw up here? That's good. Okay, I didn't have a click. 280. 280. All right, let's go ahead and calculate. All right, 155, 157, 161. 155. 157 and 161. I don't know why I can't ever put B2 in there, but we'll put it in here. 162 in there. All right, 162. Let's go ahead and we'll listen to the ATIS while we're doing this. All right, let's go up above.
Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 2,700 feet, few clouds at 5,000 feet. Temperature 27. Dew point 10. Altimeter tree 0.02. ILS runway 12
Was it
in use.
3002?
Landing and departing runway 26 right, runway 26 left, and runway 27. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Sierra.
All right, we have Sierra. Grab our clearance.
Miami clearance delivery in 666cc, November 666, Charlie IFR to San Juan, ready to copy.
N666cc, November 666, Charlie is cleared to San Juan Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 27 climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Departure frequency is 125.5 squawk tree, 153.
3153.
N666cc, November 666, Charlie cleared to San Juan Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 27 climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Departure on 125.5 squawk tree 153.
N666cc,
All right.
November 666, Charlie readback is correct. Contact ground on 120.5 when ready to taxi. Good day.
All right, let's go to ground services here. Set the DH. I'm just quickly checking everything here. All right, nav DH is set. Verify set. That's correct. Altitudes. All right, we want altitude. All right, 274 is going to be the runway heading. All right, 274. All right, so we want profile, nav, and heading select. All right, altimeter set to local. Egypt Wiz button test. All right, Egypt Wiz test. Brake skid. Normal landing elevation is going to be set. That's going to be pretty much sea level. We'll go up to like 10 feet. All right, landing gear test. All right, that's good. Thrust is set for toga. That's good. Speed brakes are retracted and disarmed. Flap levers in agreement. Parking brake is set. Takeoff warning test. Not in config. That's fine. I can't do the flaps till we spool up anyway. We're set on the transponder. Rotor trim 0. Weather radar. I'm not gonna. We'll test it. Quick. Screw it. We'll go system 1. Test in the weather radar. You can see test going on there. Oxygen mask, test flow. Alright, that's looking good. Alright, ground power is disconnected, removed, signs are on. Complete, let's see, stand by real quick. Seatbelt signs coming on. Alright, let's see. Fuel quantities checked. I'll just double check. I gotta keep filling this out. I'm not ready to push yet. Where's fuel? We're on fuel. Okay. Let's see. We're at 43.2. Let's put that in. 43.2, 43.2. Going in there. Zero fuel weight is going to be 239. 239. Zero fuel weight. All right. Good. All right. So 350 for the cruise is good. That's all fine. Let me just go back and make sure we get all that set. Why am I in the wrong checklist? Oh, I put it in the back. All right, that's why. Stand by, just quickly looking. All right, V-speeds are in. Weights are in. Make sure we're set here. All right, we are good. All right, let's go back to flight plan. All right, we should be good there. Let's see, are we almost ready to push? We are. All right, let's get ready. Let's push.
Ground in 666 CC, November 666, Charlie.
All right, make sure we're disconnected from the building. We are. I wouldn't say available if we actually were disconnected from the building, but they would pull it. All right, we're gonna go to A, start 2 on a push. As soon as they push us, we'll start cranking. Any day now. All right, cockpit prep complete. Signs are on auto. Fuel quantity is 43.2. Nav is set. Check lane elevation is set to 10. Altimeters are 3002. Brake skid norm on. All right, good. We're pushing. All right, 2. All right, watching the N2. All right, there's fuel on 2. I'll get that beacon on. All right, before start windows are closed. Beacon is on. Parking brake is, we've got it off because we're pushing. That's good enough.
Ground in 666 CC, November 666, Charlie. Charlie requesting the end of pushback.
N666 CC November 666 Charlie.
Our brakes set.
To end pushback received.
All right, we're good to start. 1. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to put that in so early. Put it in anyway. We're fine. I thought I had to drag it up. I just have to click it. All right, 2 is up. Go to the electrical page real quick, make sure we're making enough volts so we can get ready to kill that. Oh, well, I don't know why that thrust lever's up. Come on, pull back, you dickhead. What is up with this, man? There we go. I don't know why that thrust lever was up. I must have accidentally pushed it up. All right, let's go ahead and kill the APU bleed. APU's coming off. Let's go back to ignition's off here. All right, that's good. All right, let's see. APU bleed is required. APU master anti-ice is off. Spoilers arm. All right, spoilers are arm. Flaps, let's set those. All right, they're 15-0. Elevator trim is set, rudder trim set, flight controls, let's do that. Flight controls. I gotta bring my joysticks up, I haven't even done that yet. Alright, there we go. Let's get those up here. I'll have to do track IR in a second. Let's see. Alright, let's do flight controls here. Alright, flight controls are free and correct. Alright, let's try to get my track IR going here. Where the hell did I put that? There it is. Alright. Gorgeous. Alright. Don't need the VFR map anymore. Get that going. Let's get rid of the display cap. All right. I have to start pitch. Oh shit! Shut that off. Get it aligned, and then I'll shut it off for now until we taxi out. There we go. All right, track IR is back off. All right, pitch trim is set. Rudder trim 0. Spoilers are armed. Slats flaps 1500. ECAM status is checked. Anti-ice is off, hand signal accepted. We'll grab clearance and we'll taxi.
Ground in 666 CC, November 666, Charlie Charlie with Sierra ready to taxi IFR.
Then 666 CC, November 666 Charlie Charlie taxi 2 and hold short of runway 27 using taxiway Tango Quebec 8.
Tango Quebec 8.
123.9er when ready.
Why am I sitting so low?
Taxiing hold short
I don't
runway
need the
27
cheaty
using
bullshit.
taxiway
Let's get that off real quick.
Tango Quebec 8 and 666 CC, November 666, Charlie Charlie.
I'm going to quickly bring up the airport diagram here. Come on. Alright, let's do the airport diagram here. Alright, so airport diagram, we just push back from here. So, what is that? Yeah, that's it. 27, we're taxiing this way and we're going up to right here, 27. Get that on the other monitor so I can do what I'm doing here. I can't see. This should be, I believe, 27 right here. Let me just quickly check it. I gotta look when we get up there. There's 27 right there. All right. There's the ILS hold short, which should be fine, sitting in front of it anyway. Let's go ahead. We'll rock a quick, make sure we're good here. Alright, verify V2 is good. Runway now heading is set, and it's set to the runway heading. Pre-selected profile and nav, that's all complete. Verify VMAs are corresponding, they are. Verify flight director is on. Flight director is set to on. Alright. Just trying to read here. Auto brakes we're not going to use. TRP is set. Flaps are set for takeoff. Weather radar, let's go on and 2. Stop yelling at me, cat. Can't grab this here. Come on, grab it, you jackass. There we go. Alright, weather in 2. Alright, I don't need terrain. Takeoff config, we'll do a quick takeoff config. Alright, we'll check it. So we should see it on the eCam. See, TO test normal means that we're configured for takeoff. We're good to go. Alright, flight controls are checked. Briefing is confirmed. Flat 1500. Performance FMA is checked. Red. Takeoff config checked. Transponder is set. Alright, we're good to go here. Before takeoff, cabin secure TCAS, TARA will do on the roll. Ignitions are going to be off, and anti-ice is going to be off. Alright, let's call. Alright, takeoff clearance. Let's go to TARA. Alright, we're good. Clear for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff runway 27 and 666 CC.
Cat's driving the absolute shit out of me for a second. Alright, let's go ahead. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're going. Buddy, not right now. Cat's like trying to jump with me while I'm taking on. Bud, not right now. Come on. Alright, here we go. Airspeed's alive. .80 knots. We got our slight crosswind from the left. That's early. That's early. V1. Rotate. That was an early rotation on there. Probably too much trim in there. I didn't really set the trim. Alright, autopilot is on. Positive rate. Stop it, cat. 25.5. See it.
Going to 125.5 and 666 CC, November 666, Charlie, Charlie.
Speed's looking good. Flaps coming up.
Miami departure in 666 CC, November 666.
Looks like Miami, I remember.
Charlie is at 3,000 feet, climbing 8,000 feet.
I'm sorry. Shut track IR off. Screwing with the cat. Decided to jump on me just as it was taking off. A310, Airbus 310P. What do you say? Okay, we're good. Cat's being so annoying. He's so annoying. He jumped on me just as I was rolling out on the runway, and he started touching buttons and being an annoying little man. Yeah, it looks like roofs in Miami, all the tile roofs. They'll be underwater soon enough. Florida is going to get its ass kicked, unfortunately, by the weather. 220 already. 220.
Climb and maintain flight level 220 and 666 CC, November 666, Charlie, Charlie.
November 666 Charlie, Charlie, contact Miami.
23,775.
Going to 123.775 and 666 CC, November 666, Charlie, Charlie. Miami Center in 666 CC, November 666, Charlie, Charlie is at 8,700 feet, climbing flight level 220.
N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie, Miami Center altimeter tree 0.02 radar contact, continue to hammock.
Hammock. I've gone in and out of Miami many a times, IRL. We got the Florida Keys down here along there. All right, let's get the after takeoff flow going here. I'm a little late on that, and we'll do the checklist. All right, after takeoff, we're gonna disarm the spoilers. I forgot to do that. Let's disarm the spoilers. All right, let's go back to neutral. So spoilers disarm. This is the flow, but spoilers disarm. Landing is neutral. Packs are on. They should be on. APU bleed is off. APU master is off. Nose lights off. Runway turn lights are off. Ignition is off. Anti-ice is off. TRP will put in climb. Climb. Brake fans are off. Auto brake is off. They spelled brake wrong. Why do people spell brake wrong? I don't get it. Somebody else made this checklist from the community, but they spelled brake wrong. I'll have to go and fix that. All right, after takeoff checklist is slats, flaps retracted, landing gear is up and neutral, packs are on, altimeters are 3002. Just going through the packs here. Yeah, the packs stay on in this plane. I don't know why. It's just having you check them because you wouldn't pressurize. But there's the airport. So this departure procedure is essentially just a way to hook us around and get us going this direction. Yeah, but this is the plane from the outside. A310. I like the 310s. Very old school way I like it. Let's change the range out there. All right, so we can close down Miami's stuff. Let's get all stuff that we need for San Juan. Alright, so we got the Beano 3, and we're going on the ILS runway 10. Alright, why won't you just do what I'm asking you to do there? There we go. Alright, good. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look at this stuff. It's way early to brief this stuff, but we'll just kind of look at it. It's good to look at it. Alright, so here is the Beano 3. So we're coming in at Hardy. Flight level 180 to Shmoo. And then we're going to Beano. We want to be at 11,000 feet at Beano, so we expect that we'll get our descent from
N666cc,
us.
November 666, Charlie, Charlie, climb and maintain
330. Oh shit.
Climb and maintain flight level 330 and 666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie.
All right, 330. We're past flight level 180, so we're going to standard on the altimeters. All right, 299 in both. All right, so let's go back and we'll brief that again. All right, so 180 through Hardy we expect, and then we're going to be 11,000 at Beano, and then we're going to Tinner. So we'll got no real Milet above 6,000, and then Tinner there, and then Tinner starts the approach. Here's the ILS 10. Where are we at here? Right here is Tinner. That's going to be where we end off on the arrival, is Tinner. And then we're going to Remzi Zasput. So above 1,000, above 1,700 until we get to Remzi, around Remzi, and then we're going to descend down on the ILS. 1097, 101. Touchdown zone elevation is only 10 feet. Again, it's another island right on the water. Decision altitude's 260. So that is briefed. Let's go ahead and I'll stick all the stuff in for that. It's early, but I know we're going to get it because I put it in there. So, all right, 1097. Final approach score is 101. All right, that's in. All right, let's see. We want the. That's fine. I'll do the decision height later. I'm sitting a little bit high here. Let's drop just a hair. All right, 64 nautical miles to our next waypoint here, which is Meldy. We're going 466 ground speed, so we're talking, cat's after me, 7.5 miles a minute. So about 8 minutes, something like that. We can check, back it up with the FMS, see if that's what it says. Meldy at 3.9. Yep, 7 minutes. My guess is, well, it's not a guess. I do the math really quickly in my head, but usually pretty close. Check the plan view. Make sure nothing's broken. Looks good. I was almost going to go to St. Martin, but it's an extra 25 minutes, and I don't want to spend that much time doing it, so. St. Martin, St. Martin. Might do some South America after this. Just duck down South America. We're in the icing range, but we're also not in any moisture at the moment. We start getting in the clouds and see. I can't go to 430. Okay. Gotta try to get a 2,000 foot descent here. Come on. I didn't fix it. So.
Miami Center and 666 CC, November 666, Charlie Charlie. Request flight level 410.
We might be too heavy for it. We'll see. 370. 370, expect 410.
Climb and maintain flight level 370, expect flight level 410 and 666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie.
All right, 370. We have really good performance right now. It's one reason why I don't think we're gonna have a problem. Let's look at that weight balance. Weight balance, all right. I didn't fix the trim, which I should have.
N666cc, November 666, Charlie,
410.
Charlie, climb and maintain flight level 410.
Climb and maintain flight level 410 and 666cc, November 666,
410.
Charlie, Charlie.
Yeah, we're doing all right. We're climbing all right. We'll see. Start getting too pinched on speed. We'll level off.
N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie.
34.2.
Center on 134.2. Good day.
134.2 and 666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie. Goodbye. Miami Center N666cc,
The message
November
we got.
666, Charlie, Charlie is passing flight level 37.
Check the
flight
message
climbing
in a
flight
second.
level 410.
Initialize ZF.
N666cc,
That's interesting.
November 666, Charlie, Charlie, Miami Center radar contact. Continue to Medley.
Medley.
N666cc, November
25.7.
Charlie, Charlie, contact Nassau Center on 125.7.
Going probably pretty close to be going over Nassau right now.
Going to 125.7 and 666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie. Nassau Center N666cc.
I gotta
November
fix the call
666,
sign too
Charlie,
at some
Charlie
point.
is at flight level 390.
Could pick up ice in these clouds here. We're at negative 26, but we are probably too cold for ice actually.
Charlie, Charlie, Nassau Center radar contact.
Can get too cold for ice. Just sublimate right off you. Look at the islands we're going over here. Coming up on Nassau, I'd say. This Nassau right here, San Andros. Yeah, it looks like Nassau is the big island. That's got to be it there that we're going right over now. Right, we should be alright at 410. We're pushing it at 410, but we should be alright. You can see the bottom's coming up. The problem is the heavier you are, the more angle of attack you need to be able to fly. And so your angle of attack starts coming up, and that's why that stall is coming up, is we have to keep it a higher angle of attack because the air is thinner up here, and we're heavy. And so, you know, we've had it before. We just couldn't make it up the altitude. We should be all right. It looks like we're only 400 feet off of it right now. Also going to put us above this weather. You know, IRL they probably wouldn't have us go up this high. We'd probably be down at 390, 380 or something like that. Alright, we're leveling off here. I'll wait till we full level before I go on a cruise. We have 8,000 feet to land on too, which is plenty. Alright, we're leveling off, going to cruise. Seatbelt's coming off. Try to get a build up a little bit of speed here. Alright, so current time is 23:41 Z. We expect to be in at... Eventually get there. 0144. Our next point here, BitTac. There's BitTac right there. So 7 minutes to our next waypoint. Hello, Zizo. How are you? Good to see you. On our way to San Juan, Puerto Rico. Another headwind. Only it's, what is it, 5 knots? 5 knot headwind, so barely any headwind. We got a ground speed of 460 knots, not too bad. Fastest ground speed I ever had IRL was, it was 666. Yeah, it was on our way down to Florida. We had a whopping tailwind. Like 100 something knot tailwind. It was like 150, 160 knot tailwind, something like that. It was nuts. Giving us the old push. It was a very quick flight down there. I had to fight it coming back though, to get. And then was going home from work and had it on the commute home, which is always nice when your commute is fast. Sure I didn't get a call. I doubt it. We'll be sitting on this for a while. There's not going to be much handovers probably up here. Alright, start the funnel process of dimming out the panels as it's getting dark here. There we go. BFO panel's done. Alright, let's see what Ziza's up to. Doing well, how are you? How are you? That's a 310P, Airbus 310P. Any idea what the reason that caused the plane? Nope, no idea. Yeah, I'm not. I would rather fly this than 777. I like the 777, but I'd rather fly this. This is more hands-on. I like that. Actually starting to fill out an application there for airlines. I was doing trying to get back to doing this for real here. I gotta wait for some information though before I can do it. All right, let's dim this sucker out. Dim 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 dim. Yeah, if I was gonna buy a plane right now, I would either buy the E-Jets or I would buy the Caribou. And I blame Alistair for that. That was, you know, I'm building the Caribou for his challenge, and I'm like, oh, I could get the Caribou and play with it. Let's go to fuel page. What's that orange there? CG's not put in right. I gotta figure out how to do that. Trim wasn't set correctly on takeoff. That's why we went off before rotation speed. So I gotta figure out how to do that. This one takes quite a while because you have to let the inertial nav system align. So you don't really have to do that anymore on the new planes. That was something you used to have to do, and so it was like you wanted to get to, like, I never had to do it, but you wanted to get to that as soon as possible. It took forever. When I was in college, we did 747 flight profiles, and it was essentially it was an interesting class to learn the mechanics of it, but it felt like we were getting our money wasted so much. Like, it was good information. Like, you know, one thing people don't understand is, like, college isn't just about training you to do a job. It's to train higher level thinking. You know, they're trying to train to some extent the leaders of it and of the industry. And so it was like certain stuff like 747 flight profiles, like, you know, was pretty not very utilitarian, but it was interesting. You know, and that, like, a lot of stuff like that. The old planes used to have to do the inertial nav. Let me see if I can find some info on... I'm trying to find, like, the diagrams of it. Like, so they would do... Here's some good pictures of it here. So here's, like, the old inertial nav systems. You know, so, like, that's what we used to have. They don't have them anymore. It's all GPS now. And so you had to wait for the inertial nav system to align, and would have to compare it with where you're at. So, like, when I do this plane, it can take me, like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes to get the inertial nav system aligned. So I have to go up, and I have to do the 3 IRSs right here, here, and here, and I have to turn those on right away to get them going. And then I have to get in on my initialization page. I need to hurry up, and I need to get my previous don't do procedure. Let's see. Initialization. I have to put in KMIA and the destination airport and quickly align the IRS because it takes like 10 minutes at least. And so I need to get that going, or else, you know, if I don't start that right away, it's going to take me forever. So I got to kind of get that going. You know, so try to get that going first, and then do the other stuff, and then eventually it'll tell me it's aligned, and I'm good to go. And so that's how they used to. That's how the plane used to know where it was as the plane moves, the IRS system would know. Okay, it moved, 10 feet forward, and it moved 1 foot to the left. And so that's how the IRS systems used to track planes where they were in three-dimensional space. And now they do it all GPS. It's simpler. It's easier. Like, you can pretty much go out there, fire up your engines, and go. You don't have to worry about aligning the IRS. Most of these systems, too, you don't shut off. Like, there's a difference between a cold airplane and a hot airplane. Like, if an airplane comes in, like, say it's your first flight of the day, and you leave the hotel, it's 5 in the morning, you go out to the plane's been sitting all night. Cold doesn't necessarily mean temperature, it just means it hasn't been running. So you have to go through the full procedure to get the plane ready to fly. You do a more thorough and detailed walk around. You have to do a bunch of other stuff. For example, you do things like fire tests, all that. Like say we went to San Juan and then we're going to continue on, so we just go to the gate. Even if another crew comes and meets us, if the crew comes and does the changeover to a hot airplane, they don't have to do everything. Like, they'll usually still do fire tests and stuff like that, but they don't have to do everything. If we go to San Juan and then we're flying somewhere else, we don't need to do fire tests again. We've already done them. So certain items you don't have to do again on a hot airplane. You know, if you switch airplanes and it's hot, you'll talk to the crew if they're there. They'll tell you if there's anything wrong with the airplane, and because it was just flown, you know it's good to go. And there are certain things you don't have to do. Let me find it. It's inertial navigation system. Let me see what it is, why it's called that. They're called different things on different model airplanes. There's INS for inertial nav system. Let me see why. Let me double check the chart, make sure it's calling that on the Airbus. I believe it is. It's part of ADIRS. Let's. Air Data Inertial Reference System. So the IRS is the inertial reference system portion of it. So different manufacturers call them different things. Did I fix Twitch? I did not. I did not fix Twitch. Fix the title on Twitch. There we go. Alright, so as it gets darker and darker, I want to keep dimming out even more. You want to maintain your night vision the best you can. You know, you can't see out the airplane if it's too bright inside. Like if we're leaving, especially on the ground at night, like we don't run taxi lights or stuff like that if we can avoid it. You know, it's like we just taxi around the dark because it helps you keep your night vision. You can actually see stuff because you might need to see, you know, tree or an obstacle. Like there could be an animal running across the runway. You know, you abort the takeoff, stuff like that. So you want to be able to see everything. One thing I used to teach my students is there's always more than one deer, because like you'd have a deer run across the runway in Ormond, and then they would be like, okay, we can go now. The deer across the runway is like, no, you can't. There's probably a couple more, and then like 2 or 3 more deer would run across the runway, and that would have been by the time you were trying to take off would be right where the deer were. So it's like, hang out, make sure there's only one. Because, like, it's monkey see, monkey do. Once one deer sees the other one's got to cross, they try to cross, and then it's like bad news. Especially small airplane, you do not want to be hitting deer. Trying to let's look at some airplanes we could buy. Let's look at some airplanes we could buy. Let's do piston singles. That was back when I was first learning to fly. Twins were the bomb diggity. We all wanted a twin, but the problem with a twin is there's a big paradigm shift. So like these Bonanzas, these single engine Bonanzas, these are a great plane. They're hot. They're nice. The problem is they have retractable gear. And too many people were landing with the gear up and totally in the airplane. And so as you can imagine, that cost the insurance company a hell of a lot of money. So the insurance company raised the rates. Even on high-time pilots like myself with the experience, they would raise the rates, because if you ball it up, you're not guaranteed to total the airplane, but there's a good chance you total the airplane if you land with gear up. And so these are very expensive to insure, and that was around the time. So the insurance company started really raising the rates on anything with retractable gear. And that's when you got, this was, I believe these Cessna TTXs were Lancers. Lancer was a fast, they were kind of competing with Cirrus back, I don't know, 15 years ago. And I think Cessna bought them. These are the hotness. And if you notice, this was the era, if you look, they're fixed gear. So this is a really fast airplane, but it's fixed gear. And the whole reason they went to that is they're a hell of a lot cheaper to insure because you can't land with gear up. You know, so you get some inexperienced pilot buys it, they land with the gear up, and you're in deep shit because it needs to be totaled. So everybody's insurance premiums went up. Like these planes here, like this is a Turbo 210. Is this RG? Nope, this is not RG. That's a nice plane. This is RG. This is retractable gear. This is going to cost you a fortune to insure. It's $439,000, and you have to insure it for gear ups. You know, so there's a big paradigm shift. Like people are moving away from these because they're just expensive to insure. That's a cool one. 1950 Cessna 195. Here's another RG. Again, so like some of these, you could probably get these for a deal. So like, thank you very much, Zizo. I appreciate that. Make sure we put that in the recognition channel. I appreciate you. Thank you much. Thank you much. You get that going real quick. Put you in the old recognition. Thank you much, Zizo. I appreciate that. And so you had a lot of like planes like this. There was this guy on YouTube. He kept being like, "Look, you can get this plane for really, really cheap." And it's like, you know, so I would go look up that airplane, and it has like 100 hours left in the overhaul. Of course, you got it for cheap. You know, it's got 100 hours left. You fly another 100 hours, you're supposed to go get the engine overhauled. So like, let's see, Cessna 172 engine, Continental 0300. Let's see, Continental 0300. Overhaul cost. So, cost of overhauling a Continental 0300 engine can vary, but one estimate for a 1966 172 and 0300D was $38,000. Another estimate for the same engine in a 2014 was $28,500. All right. So, you could buy, like that's not the same plane, but you could buy that Cessna 172 that dude on YouTube said, "Hey, it's a steal. It's only like," he said it was like, "Oh, it's only like $35,000. It's as cheap as a car." Yeah, but you only have 100 hours left on it before you need to go get it overhauled, and the overhaul costs $30,000. So you're not buying let's say he said the plane costs $35,000. You're not buying a $35,000 airplane. You're buying a $65,000 airplane. You know, so if you budgeted to buy for a $35,000 airplane, and then in 100 hours you have to pay another $30,000 to get it overhauled, you know, that might blow your budget. And so that's something you have to know. So like you would look in here, let's see. We'll go through it. So like if you don't know what's going on, so that's a high total time too. Look at the total time, 9,999 hours. That's a lot of hours. Let's see, Cessna 177. Let's see, Cessna 182 RG. Let's see, 182 RG airframe. Life expectancy. So airframes with a total time of 10,000 hours are what? That's, I gotta get away from the AI bullshit. Okay, so it says 30,000 flight hours. Sounds high to me. Sounds high to me. 30,000 sounds high, but you have to worry about that too, because you start getting stress fractures in a lot of the components, and that is not good. Just check in real quick. Yeah, see, we're not going to get a switch over. We're over the ocean. Likely, we're not going to get a handoff for a while until we get in towards San Juan. So like that's something that a lot of people, they look and they say, oh look, it looks pretty good. Now look right here. Engine one time, there's only one engine, is 1,590 hours, right? It has a that's the overhaul time right there. So it's recommended. Some people say, "Oh, that's only the recommended. You can go over that." Yeah, but it's recommended for a reason, because the engineers and the manufacturers think that that's when you should go get it overhauled. And I would recommend you go get it overhauled. So if you look, engine TBO is 2,000. So you have 410 hours left on this airplane before you need it overhauled. So if we go Lycoming 0540, and you go up here, and you see the first is always what the overhaul is going to cost. So Lycoming 0540, 79,000, 52,000 is the low estimate, let's say, and 101,000 for a brand new one. Let's see which sub it is. I don't see the sub on it. What? So let's go with the low cost, 52,000. So if you bought this airplane, let's say you put on 100 hours a year, in 4 years, you're going to have to pay another 50 grand just in overhaul for this plane. Plus, again, with retractable gear, likely your insurance is going to be nuts. You know, so that's the sort of stuff you got to be careful with. Like that, a lot of like those, like the YouTube people who are like, "Oh, it's super cheap. You can buy this plane." Is like, no. So like if you look over here and you look at a, this is a Cessna 182, Cessna 172P Skyhawk, 149,000. Go down, you look. Total time, it's pushing 9,000. Let me find the overhaul. All right, so engine one time is 765 hours. Engine TBO is 2,200 hours. So you've got a lot of time left on this engine. So it says right here, 1,435 hours left on the engine. That's a good amount of time left on the engine. All right. So if you go ahead and you look for the Lycoming 0320-that, you put it in here. Stop, click, ticket. There we go. 37,000. So here's the actual. Well, this is a company. This is LycomingOverhaul.com. What model number is it? 320 DJ2 320. Is that showing? So you're talking somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 grand, I would say. So there's 30 grand, but you have 1,400 hours. So if you're putting on 100 hours a year, that's 14 years before you have to come up with that money. So looking at this airplane compared to the other ones, you know, you look at this one here, this 81-172 compared to that that 182. I don't even know where it was anymore. Where the hell is the 182? This one here, this 182. So this one here is 154,000, but you're gonna have to pay 50 grand, and because it's got a bigger engine, it's got a 6-cylinder engine. This one has a 4-cylinder engine. So this one has a smaller engine. It should have a 6-cylinder, I think. Let me see. I think this is 6-cylinder, and this was the 4-cylinder. So this one's a newer airplane, less time on the body by a good bit, over 1,000 hours. It does not have a retractable landing gear, so your insurance is going to be less. Now, it's going to be slower, but again, do you want to pay an exorbitant amount of money to go faster? Probably not. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, this would be a better airplane, this one here. This was, again, the Cirruses came out in a time when, again, they went to fixed landing gear, again, for insurance reasons. Everything used to be retractable gear back in the day, and then it just got too expensive to insure, and they moved away from it. So, like, you can see the era of fixed wing. Like these Cirruses, all newer stuff, fixed gear. Not fixed wing. They are fixed wing. And then you've got, start getting to like This here is a 1980 in the 80s Piper Saratoga retractable gear. Probably going to cost you a fortune in insurance. So this one's like an extra 50 grand more than that 172 for a much bigger, more powerful airplane. Read more powerful means, you know, it's going to probably burn a lot of more fuel. This has a lot lower of a airframe time. It's got what's that? About 408 hours left for an overhaul. Now look at the Lycoming TIO5. Look at that. All right, so we go in. These are the things that, like, again, people who don't understand any of this will just think like, oh, I can go buy a plane. All right, 104,000, 97,000. So if you look, we're talking in the, let's say 90,000 best case scenario, 90,000 to overhaul this thing. So it looks like it's not a huge deal, but the what was the Cessna 172? I think I said it was 28,000. So you're paying a huge amount of extra. That's us. Buddy, get out in front. 32.3.
132 decimal tree and 666 cc November 666 Charlie Charlie. Goodbye.
So you got to pay a huge amount just on overhauls and stuff like that. So it's like, even if the price looks good, you know, you got to understand what else it's going to cost you, and then you got to understand the fuel burn.
666 cc November 666 Charlie Charlie flight level 410.
Then 666 CC November 666 Charlie Charlie Miami Center. Radar contact. Continue to Guana.
You know, so like this airplane looks like, oh, this would be a good airplane. Yeah, it would be a good airplane. Like the other thing people do is they like, look, oh, it's got 6 seats. I could take all my family. Is your how much this actually is? There more than 6 seats? Yeah, six seat. You know, not necessarily. Like you still gotta do a weight and balance. So like if you look at the let's do this again. So if we go to fuel consumption on that engine. All right, so on average, this engine burns about 14 gallons per hour, okay? So that's 14 gallons per hour. Let's go back to the 172. Now, this plane, again, is going to go faster. You're going to be paying a huge amount extra in insurance. Go back to the 172. The other thing is parts availability. Like, if it's rare and if it's really old, like, people like, oh, it's a 1950. Yeah, great, but if you can't get parts for it, what the hell, you know? Why is the cat screaming? I gotta go deal with him in a second here. Let's go. Let's grab this engine again. So, let's see. You're gonna see. 7.5 to 8 gallons per hour. So half. So about half of the fuel burned. So now you're talking for every 100 hours, right? You're burning 700 gallons at about, I would say, I don't know what it is now. It was probably at least $6. 700 gallons. 700 gallons for 100 hours times $6. That's $4,200 in fuel for 100 hours. So that's $42 per. Oh, is it? Let's say 7 times 6. That's $42, and yeah, I was right. $42 an hour you're paying in fuel versus $84 per hour for the other airplane. You're not going twice the speed. All right, I'll be right back. I gotta go give this cat some food. I'm back. You know, and there are other things people don't consider too, is like, you know, you got to put a hell of a lot more oil in an airplane than you do in a car, and anything that has to do with an airplane is going to be more money. So I'm not going to go over all the numbers, but let's see. Aircraft oil. All right, so to buy it by the case, let's see. So 12 quarts of oil, the airplane takes, you know, like a Cessna 172, I think it's like 6 quarts of oil. Cat, stop screaming at me, stop. So let's see what that is per quart. So that's about $8 a quart. So $47 worth of oil in there. You know, so things like that. You have to put oil in an airplane a lot more often than you do in a car. Like anytime you need to go do maintenance, anything small, big money. So it's like things like that people don't consider, you know. This is kind of my pet peeve. That dude's YouTube who was always talking about, look at these airplanes you can get for the cost of a Honda Accord. Yeah, you can get it for a Honda Accord. You could buy the thing, but you could never afford to fly it, you know. That's just buying it. Like, a car is pretty cheap to run, you know. Start getting into actually what's operating the airplane's expensive. You know, if you can do some of that maintenance yourself, that helps. But generally, you're going to have to take it to an A&P from a... Alright. Some messages written here. Alright, let's... Let's check times here. 22 minutes past. This is showing we got a ways to go. Let's see, where are we at here? Coming up on Guana. I'll be at Guana in 4 minutes. That's 270. What's that? Seabug. Let's just look at the VFR map really quickly. Just seeing if this is correct. It is a long flight. Alright, Seabug here is about 40 minutes away. Yeah, that's probably about right what it said. Check the estimated times, but the estimated times look right. It'll be a long flight. Looking at 0140, so about an hour 20. Yeah, where are we headed next? Guava, Guava, whatever it's called, Guana. That's cool. Yeah. Be nice to get over to Europe. See if I can ratchet us up just a hair. Like going up an extra Mach, you notice it's only a couple knots. So it's like, think, oh, we're going up an extra, 0.01 Mach. It's like, yeah, it's a couple knots. That's like not that much faster. But over the hour, pick up 5 extra miles. Yeah, you're picking up like a minute. I bet the stars are good out here. Not much light pollution at all. Let's tune this overhead all the way up, see what it looks like. We didn't get to do too much over. We couldn't stay over water for very much in my jet because we didn't have a raft. You have to have a raft if you're going to be over the water for long periods of time. Got to have the raft. Did not have one. How did I not fix that? Are you flying over your house? Yeah, I have not flown over my house in game. I haven't near it, but I haven't flown over it. I'd have to go look. That'd be fun. I'm not going to do it on stream. My detractors would be there trying to cry about Stormworks. If there's any more interesting cries about Stormworks. It'd be good to be able to play Stormworks at the same time, but again, the joystick's the problem. I can't get rid of it in the game. So why do people want to keep fish alive? Like somebody asked, like how to keep the I missed the part about alive, but I said just put them in a hopper, and then they're like that doesn't keep them alive. It's like why do you want it to be alive? Yeah, it's funny. We'll go over. I need something to keep me occupied while we do this long flight. But like this was a good one here for somebody being silly goose. Was where is it? Let's see. This guy. The game and studio's downfall is legendary. Fingers in their ears, pushing updates nobody asked for while the game doesn't even run. All right, so I know that I'm speaking on the converted here, but. Yeah, people in the chat play Stormworks on a daily basis. The game certainly runs for you, does it not? Runs for me, fine. Again, a lot of people blaming their own terrible PC and their own lack of engineering skill, which is fine. Nobody expects you to know this on your own, but it's not fair to blame the game either when either A, your computer is not running correctly, or B, you don't know how to engineer anything, and instead of taking the time to learn, which is a possibility, it's why I put out tutorials, you then blame the game because you don't know how to do something, which isn't fair either. So, so my response is they literally just expanded their team. Geometa had 4 people on their tax filings for last year. Deltar has said in the Q&A, I believe he said they have 8 people now. So the company potentially has doubled. Now, I don't have the exact numbers on that. That's what I heard last in the Q&A. And I checked the tax filing for last year, and it said 4. So, look like, to me, that would make me think they expanded the team. All right. And so I say, so I'd hardly say that was a downfall. I think that was a, super hyperbole nonsense. Again, it's wishful thinking that person's thing because they feel betrayed by the game because they didn't do their research and it's not what they thought it was. And instead of just being like, oh, I bought a game that wasn't for me, they want it to fail. It's like, look at the numbers too. Like, you know, people want to try to say that this was some sort of, oh my God, downturn. Again, this all in here, this was all COVID in here. This is all COVID in here. You know, they didn't start forcing some people back to work until this period over here. You know, so you had extra people at home. So instead of commuting to work 2 hours a day like some people do, they were at home. And so when the workday ends at 5, instead of getting in the car and driving home in rush hour traffic, they started playing video games. And so there was an artificial inflation of that. Look at this line down here of the steadiness of the game. You know, there are periods where there are games when you can look and you can see when a game has a proper downfall. Let's like look at Battlefield 2042. Trying to find the default game right here. Battlefield 2042. Let's look at the max. All right. So the game, I would say the game is steady at this point. All right. This is the steady part of the game. These are artificial highs. The artificial new game, it dumped, and then it's pretty steady. I would say this is pretty steady. Look at the bottom graph here. Pretty steady. That's what steady looks like. All right. That's steady. You can see because you can draw a straight line across. All right. That's pretty steady, and it's you know, it's not great for the AAA title, but it's pretty steady. They sold a shitload of copies. Is it a financial success? Yeah, they sold it at $70. They sold it to 8 million people. It's a financial success. You know, that's a fall off. Let's look at Carrier Command 2. Carrier Command 2. Right, it's steady, but look at the numbers. 29, 69 peak. So it fell off a cliff, and then it's steady, but it's lowish numbers. Stormworks is steady around its high numbers. You know, there are peaks, like I talked about, like there's DLC, major updates are the other peaks, but, you know, other than that, like, look at this 2,500 line. All of this from, what's that date here? August 2020 to August 2024. All right, so 4 years. It's had 4 years above, averaging above 2,500. That's steady. Steady and good numbers. Look at the graph there. Looks good. You know, look at Carrier Command. All right, it's averaging 272. That's high. Say like probably right about there is probably a high average of 208 players. So for the last 3 years, it's probably averaged somewhere in the neighborhood of 208 players. You would draw a line across the peaks and valleys. That's how you find the average. So it's averaging 200 players for the last 3 years. This game is averaging, all right, it's averaging higher than 2,500. So to say that's a downfall, I think, is silly. You know, it just like, I don't know, people don't know how to read fucking graphs, frankly. But, and then again, this constant screed I see people see here. Pushing updates nobody asked for. Like, literally, I don't understand where these people are getting this shit. Here's the poll. They literally asked the people, hey, what do you want in the game? The people put what they wanted in the game. They voted on it. And then they put it in the game. So, like, this argument that I see on a daily fucking basis that nobody wanted space. Of course they did. Like, you may not want space. I really didn't care too much about space. But we can look right here and there's space. Right there. Space. Voted for by the community. All right. If, you know, if 2,500 people on average play the game on a daily basis, you got 2,200 people voted for space. You know, you could have gone, you could have voted at them. You know, fishing, you know, they're bitching right now because, you know, they're essentially saying nobody wanted fishing. That's what their current screed is because it's on the fishing report. Right here, fishing. 2,051 people wanted fishing. You know, so this constant, like, just counterfactual, counter-historical notion that these aren't things people wanted. It's literally in the poll. Now, again, it's a fair argument to say, should the devs have polled the people? I think they should have, because it clearly shows that every time somebody's like, nobody wanted this, guess what? They can be like, yeah, they wanted it. The community voted on it. And that's good. That's cover your ass. I think they did a good job. They should have done that. You know. Let me see what Skeeter has to say. Yeah, let's read Skeeter's thing. Skeeter usually has pretty good takes. I want to reply to people complaining about the update. First of all, strictly sticking to search and rescue would be a huge waste potential. There isn't a single game that I know of that allows you to build with such freedom. Additionally, I would add that this update probably fits in the most with the game. Since the majority in the world takes place in the water, the fishing update seems logical. I don't know if I would agree that the majority of the world takes place in the water. I think a lot of people like it because they can build ships, and they like ships. You know, you can spend most of your time in the air if you want. You can spend most of your time on the ground, you know. But, again, it's a fair point. I just would disagree that it's necessarily that that's where most people spend their time. They could. There's just no data to back that up. Let's see. Since the majority... Yeah, see, I don't know why you'd say since the majority. You have no numbers to back that up, that most people are spending their time building boats in the sea, so I just wouldn't even go with that. You know. Like, for example, you could make a sentence that say, I think it fits in most with the game, as the ocean is a big component of the game. I think that's a better way to say it so that you don't get that argument in there where, like, how do you know what the majority is? If the world takes place in the water. So a fishing update seems logical. The same can't really be said about any of the other DLCs that everyone likes, like Weapons DLC. Again, go back to the poll. The poll, like, literally, the poll #1 was Weapons. Whether you like it or not, you know, I would have preferred something like transportation logistics over weapons, but guess what? There was a poll. People voted on it. I didn't get what, you know, they didn't vote #1 for what I wanted, and so, okay, it's fair. They gave people what they wanted, you know. I would say the hate boils down to people simply not caring about fishing, so they complain since they didn't get the update they wanted. Exactly. You know, people will not complain about the update they wanted, of course, and they feel like something was stolen from them because somebody else got what they want, and that's bullshit. You know, if somebody else like, say you get handed your plate of food, right, at the table, and the person next to you then gets handed a plate of food, you know, it's not fair for you to be like, hey, I could have had that food too. You stole my food. That could have been my food. I could have had 2 portions. That's gluttonous. That's being, you know, gluttonous. That's being selfish, right? You got your plate of food already. Somebody else is getting their plate of food. You should be happy that that other person gets to eat today. You know, same concept with the game. Just because you don't want the update doesn't mean you have to leave a hate comment. Yep, exactly. So you don't ruin it for the rest. Now, to address the people that constantly type pissy comments about you, whatever that means. I want more search and rescue. Well, guess what? They added more literally last week, and I guarantee with all the complaining, they'll add more in the future. Add to that this game is centered around search and rescue. You already have several missions you can do in career mode options, like I mentioned before, likely to come. Again, the majority of the missions in Stormworks are rescue, like, are search and rescue. There are like, the only other missions there aren't search and rescue are like the transportation missions, which are few and far between, but the vast majority are some form of search and rescue. It's like, literally, like, what other missions do we have? They're pretty much all search and rescue missions. You know, and that's why, like, it's like, you have a game that 90% of the missions are search and rescue, and people are like, there's no search and rescue missions. It's like, dude, there's only 90% of the missions are search and rescue. It's like, what are you talking about? That's why I find it's like, it's mind-numbing sometimes. But all of a sudden, when people that enjoy fishing get a couple of cool updates that they can enjoy boats and stuff, everybody's furious. Why can't we, a large portion of the game population, get a few little updates to benefit? What's wrong with that? At this point, it's almost selfish. Hey, look at that. I also couldn't help to notice, but everybody complaining about the game-breaking glitches that are always mentioned in the fishing update comments. Then when I look at the search and rescue update last week, almost nobody's complaining about glitches. I have a feeling, like I mentioned a little bit ago, has to do with people's bias about not caring about fishing aspect of the game, if that makes sense, and what makes sense about the fact they fix bugs in every update, regardless of fishing or not. So why complain? The devs are simply trying their best to deal with you guys. I'm sure Stormworks is going downhill. Comments don't help. Yep. It's just counterfactual too. That's the thing. Is it's counterfactual. The game going downhill. The company added employees. Right. The game is steady. Their main product. They're building another game in addition. They're not, you know, just like shit. You know. Please fix. Oh, I get like. Please fix your spelling first, and then we'll, you know, and then tell us what you want fixed in career. So like, let's look at some of these updates. All right, washed ashore mission. This is cargo missions. Shit being washed ashore. Let's see. Let's look at what the missions are. Let me see. Try to see what the mission. Minor new mission locations on beach side. These are transport style missions, refloating transport vehicles and cargo. So, could you call that search and rescue? You know, seeing the fact that Coast Guard, whatever they do, bring, you know, they refloat ships potentially. You know, I would say that's probably in line again. But again, you had people screaming, "We need more missions." Here it is. They're being receptive to the community doing that. Pot and line fishing announcement. Minor fixes update. Again, like, you'll get it all the time. People are like, we don't ever get any fixes. Fixes. Like, here, let's go through the fixes. It's just, that's the thing, is it's so easily disprovable that it's that's why I think it's so silly. Like, the week before, fixes. Announcement week, fixes. Announcement week, animal missions update. All right, new missions. People have been asking for mission fixes. Upcoming releases. That's an announcement of what they're working on. Hot fix. Fixes. Fixes. Announcement. Fixes. Dark Side Tripper. Fixes. Q&A. Announcement. Fixes. Fixes. Me. Announcement week. Fixes. Major update that people had voted for in the poll. Fixes. Announcement week. Fixes. Announcement week. Fixes. 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 Me. Announcement week. Fixes. Fixes. Announcement week. Fixes. Fixes. Announcement week. Fixes. So it's like, you'll see that in the comments, like, they never fixed anything. Fixes. Fixes. Me. Fixes. Fixes. It's like, you know, this is why I find it so silly, that comment section. Fixes. You know, it's just like, if you took 10 seconds, like 2 minutes, whatever we've taken here, you could go through, literally, you could spend an hour and go through every single friggin' update and see every single update. And just like, but again, it's the lazy people that often do this shit. That's the problem. Me. You know, they're lazy, they have no patience. That's why this is not the game for a lot of people. You need to learn a lot of stuff. You need to have some background in it, or learn that and take some initiative. Me. And a lot of people they don't have the patience, and so it's not the game for them. And the problem, I say, would distill down with a lot of these grouchy people is they literally bought a game they didn't know anything about, and they didn't like it. And instead of saying, hey, you know what, I spent some money, didn't enjoy it, sometimes that happens, move on, go find something they actually enjoy doing, they stick around, they haunt this place for some reason. And it's like, move on with your life, you know, move on with your life. Like, there was some good comments here, it was funny. Like, I got in the comment section a little bit with this one. I put it in the say what, but we'll go through it quickly. But like, if you go through, Let's find the dude. He put a rude post, and then I like to look at their profile. That's why when they hide their profile, it's like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you're hiding in the bushes yelling something. It's like, don't hide in the bushes. Come out. You know. So like this guy here, he goes, weekly trash updates. Isn't this game supposed to be about rescuing people? That's part of it. It's build and rescue. The game is what they make it. For example, if tomorrow they decided to add patty cake to the game, part of the game would be about patty cake. You know, if they made it so that you had to eat and drink, and they added an eating and drinking game mechanic, guess what? The game is now, part of the game is eating and drinking. What they make the game is what they expect the game to be. There's a good comment by Alistair. But anyways, other silly shit. You can't even play multiplayer. Yes, we can. We've done multiple streams. You can go watch them. And you have to build or rely on workshop. Yeah. It's a vehicle building sandbox game. You either have to build it yourself like intended, or you need to take somebody else's hard work and use that to play the game. That is the entire purpose of the game, ding dong. Not even a game. It is a game. And this whole line of inquiry was funny here. So I put, you know, you have 4.7 hours in the game in the last 2.5 years. Why didn't you move on with your life? If we go look at this dude's profile, I know I've already talked about this, but it's fun, and I'm flying to San Juan for 2 hours. If you go ahead to this dude's games, and you find, this is why I like it when people actually leave their when they leave their profile up, so you can actually see what the hell they're doing. Let's sort it real quick here. Here's Stormworks. He's got 81 hours in the game. That's it. Okay. So here's a guy telling us what the game should be about, who only has 81 hours in the game. Again, he gets to have an opinion, but it doesn't mean his opinion matters all that much when, you know, when he's demonstrated, he doesn't really play the game, right? You know, it'd be like somebody reviewing a hamburger who doesn't eat hamburgers. You know, pretty silly. All right, let's go look at his review. I already talked about this, but, you know, again, bored. We'll go through it. On a long flight to San Juan. All right, here's his Stormworks review. Okay, so look at the numbers. He's got 81 hours on record, 76.5 hours at the time of review. His review was posted February 4th, 2022. So 2.5 years ago, this guy did it. And in that amount of time, he's put in 4.7 hours. That's it. So he's played in the last 2.5 years. He's only played for 4.7 hours. Yet comes in on a weekly basis to whine in the comment section of a game he does not even play. You know, and that's why I say move on. It's like, dude, you know, how silly can you be? It's so silly. Like, the comment section is just such juvenile shit. It's like, is your life really that sad that, you know, and my analogy was, let's say 2.5 years ago, I went into a coffee shop and I had a coffee that I didn't like, and I paid whatever I paid for the coffee. And then, every once in a while, I go in the lobby of that coffee shop and I bitch and I bug the customers who enjoy the coffee there and tell them how terrible the coffee is. And they're like, dude, coffee's fine. If you don't like the coffee, go get coffee somewhere else. You know, wouldn't you say that if some ranting weirdo was in the coffee shop just being like, coffee sucks here. I got it 2.5 years ago and the coffee sucks. Wouldn't you be like, dude, go somewhere else, man? Like, I'm trying to sit here and enjoy my coffee. Now, this is the thing where a lot of them, they'll cry freedom of speech. It's like, first of all, you don't have freedom of speech in a private place. You don't. Freedom of speech protects you from the government in a public place. Okay, first of all, civics lesson. All right, number 2. If you go in a coffee shop and you continually go in a coffee shop in the lobby and you rant and you bother the customers, guess what they're going to do? They're going to tell you to leave. And if you don't leave, they're going to call the police, and they're going to have the police make you leave. That is what a ban is. That is what, when they delete your comments. You know, there are rules in the coffee shop lobby. If you don't follow the rules, they're going to tell you to leave. And that's what they do with these things. And then you get those people, they go to Reddit and bitch on Reddit. You know, and to make an analogy for that, they leave the coffee shop. They then go and they rent a room somewhere. And all the people who were asked to, who didn't like the coffee there, who were asked to leave because they didn't like the coffee and they were bitching in the lobby of the coffee, then go and bitch in this hotel room that they're renting. You know, how silly can you get? That's why I think the whole thing is just so silly and hilarious. Is it's like, go find better things to spend your time on. All right, what are we looking here? About what do I get? A little less than an hour, I think. That was a good way to kill time. Let's see, 37. Yeah, we got less than an hour here. Hey, 45 minutes. Oh, wrong way. What are we coming up on here? We're passing Sebug. Sebug. There's Sebug right there. All right. Let's see. Let's look at the arrival here. I got Shamu there. It looks like we might have the descent icon. So let's take a look at the descent. See if we have that on here. Hardy flight. Okay, there's Shamu right there. So see Hardy here. It shows flight level 180. Beano, we got to be down at 11,000 for Beano. That is a mandatory crossing restriction of 11,000. We have to be down at 11,000 at Beano. So we have to be there. So we should expect that. All right, so that is something we expect. And Beano is after Shamu here, so we have, see Hardy here. See where Hardy is? Hardy, on the way down to Shamu. Is it Shamu? Yeah, Shamu. So, what's after Shamu? We can see it. See the pink there? The pink is telling us that's where it's going to say 11,000. Let's see if I can zoom in enough. You can see the 11,000. See right there, 11,000. So that's, we still got a long way to go. That's 274 miles, which we are currently going about about 7.5. Let's say we're doing 8 miles a minute. That will give us even more of a conservative number. So so let's say let's see. I could look it up, but it's 30 and change. Let's see where that's going to be. 30 and change. It's that 26. Yeah, perfect. My guess was good. 26 minutes plus 8. So we're talking 34 and change, like I said, off the top of my head. 34 and change to get down to 11,000. So again, we're at, what? Why are we at 45? Why is this at 40,500? That's weird. All right, what are these? So we're at 41 going down to 11, so that's 30,000 feet. So I would say at the very worst case scenario, we got to get in there at about 10 minutes out. So 70 miles we need to be descending. Even, well, we got to be before that. Let's say 13 minutes before we hit Beano, we have to descend. So you see we get that descent cue right here. That's probably about right. Yeah. But the comment section is just, it's so, like, easily rebuffed. And that's the thing that I don't get, is it's like, they just throw out random shit. It's all throwing feelings and no, like, actual analytical. And I get that some people may not have been around when the poll came out and they don't know about the poll, but it's like you could ask a question like, did people really want fishing? Like, you could even ask in a snotty way, did people really want fishing? And somebody could answer, yes, there was a poll and people voted for fishing. Yeah. Like, for example, the next one that I think is going to be the next major update in Stormworks is going to be sales. I have limited to no interest in sales. But I understand a lot of people do. And so I'm not going to, I'm not going to poo-poo on their parade, and I'm not going to, you know, whine about sales. Not everything is about me. Not everything has to be about me. Not everything should be about me. I'm not any more important than anyone else. You know, and so it's just as valid for the devs to decide to add sales to their game for the people who want sales as it would be to add the next thing that I want. You know, and I'm glad that they're doing something that those people want. You know, it was on the poll. It's one of the few things left on the poll undone. And I hope and would be glad, even though I'm not going to use it, I'm going to be glad when those people get what they want. All right, let's watch. I'm going to watch Alistair's video here. Got whales. Whales. Listening to humpback business. That's what I'm doing. There's this putt-putt that Alistair's doing. See, putt-putt. Mini golf. The Outdoor Collection by Alistair. Citrus's dove is looking lovely. Yeah, my caribou is pretty much done. Well, it needs paint. Needs a little bit of, it needs panel work, but again, I don't want to get burned out on it, so I'm kind of hanging off on it for right now. Get a mid-flight ramp. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why, like, I don't tolerate whiny bullshit in my comment section or my Discord. Is it's like, you know, you get a bunch of people where it becomes a negative place, and it's like the people who enjoy it, like, they don't want to hang around there. It's like the analogy I use: you go to a coffee shop and you get a bunch of weirdos just yelling in the lobby. It's not a peaceful, fun place to be anymore. And they decide, you know what, I'm going to take my coffee, I'm going to go. I'm not going to participate in the community. I'm not going to hang around here. And so it's better to get those annoying people out than to just cater to the whiny, entitled assholes. It really is. You know? It's why a business happily kicks out somebody who causes problems, because it's not worth their business at the expense of other people's business. It isn't. You know, and then you reinforce the bad behavior. It's better just get them out of there. It is funny to the I've been putting up my takeoffs and landings as shorts, and the daytime landings have like a 90% like rate, and the nighttime landings have like I don't know, 60-70% like rate. And it's because I think people don't like watching anything that's dark. And it's like, oh, too bad, it's a night landing. Like, whatever, man. You don't like it, don't like it. Great. Thanks for the interaction, though. Up or down vote, still interaction. So. I'm trying to think. Do we have any terrain? Let me look at the. I'll look at the ILS. I think. No, minimum sector altitude is 2,800. There's no real terrain out there. We're coming in at 1,700 on the out of Remsey. Oh, no, it's not Remsey. Where are we coming out of? Yeah, Remsey. At Remsey, we're at 1,700, so we're not going to have any terrain we got to worry about. There's some antennas. There's some towers. There's a 2,000-foot tall tower. But that's nowhere near where we're going in, so that doesn't really matter. This is back when I used to fly Flightsim 10. It was I used to always like I played that. Was that the one I played in college? I don't know. It was you know, I used to go to San Juan all the time. It was cool. It's a good flight. Just like it was funny. I used to sit in the living room in the condo that I lived at when I was going to college, and I would put a mirror in my bedroom, and I could sit on the couch and watch TV, and I would have a mirror in the bedroom angled so I could see my PC monitor. And then when it got near to where I needed to go land, I would go in there, and then I would start doing the approach. Yeah, I had one CRT monitor, so it was like couldn't you know, couldn't put on something else. I wish I could mute something on my end and then you guys could hear it on your end. See if there's more airplanes I want to buy. Hopefully I get one of these jobs I want and I can buy an airplane at some point. If I get the job and get in for a year, I'll go buy an airplane. Let's see. Let's see, what would I want? Let's go buy manufacturer. Moonies. Oh, I love a Moonie. Let's look at Moonies. Light shop. Okay. I like a Moonie. Moonies are fun. 83 Moonie. Let's look at this one in Maryland. Yeah, Moonies with the hotness. Retractable gear, so I'd have to go get quotes for insurance. Let's do a quick search. It's the airplane insurance calculator. Take a look. See, I have to request a quote. I'm just trying to see. That's us. 35.7.
135.7 and 666 CC, November 666, Charlie, Charlie. Goodbye.
I might need more of these flights where I'm in the middle of nowhere. Quiet. Do other stuff.
N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie, San Juan Center radar contact, continue to SHMU.
Alright, going to Shamu. Let's see, we got about, let's see. I don't know, we got 60-something miles till probably started descent, so keep an eye on that. We should expect that, so I'm kind of expecting it. Alright, let's see. Insurance. Fixed. Gear. Burst. Retractable. See what the differential is. Alright, standard fixed. Okay. Now, I guess, yeah, tail wheel they're probably kicking people in the balls for. Let's see what this link looks like. I'm interested. Lowest pilots where I can get fixed skiing for $2,500 to $3,500 a year. Retractable for the same year, etc. If you can find a company to write ones. Wowza. Well, that's for a low-time pilot, but still, this is a good example. If you have less than 400 hours, you don't have a lot of hours. I have about 2,800 hours, and most of it in complex aircraft. And so, like, if you get it with fixed gear, It's same airplane, same everything. It's 25 to 35, and with retractable, it's 7,500. So, you know, that's an extra $4,000 a year. It's not worth it because, like, it's cool to have the retractable gear. It is faster. It's more efficient. It is not $4,000 extra. This is the other thing too. Like this person's talking about, if you have an instrument rating, that will knock your insurance down because it's less likely you'll total the airplane. Also, if you have a lot of time, in like most of my time is in retractable gear airplane. I've got, let's see, about 1,650 hours in retractable gear airplane at least. No, another 100 on top of that. So about 1,700 in retractable gear airplane. So that helps. Yeah, so like this is a 182, which is fixed gear, versus the Piper Arrow. It's half to insure it than the Arrow. You know, so some things that, like, for example, let's say you have a lot of flight experience. You might be, like, you can pick up a plane like this maybe for a considerable amount of money cheaper. Because, one, in order to operate this plane, you need to likely have a commercial pilot's license because that's how you get a complex generally. You could probably get a complex endorsement, I don't know. But, like, I can operate a constant speed propeller. You know, I've got a lot of time in retractable landing gear. So, like, let's say my insurance costs double, but the plane costs $100 grand cheaper because there's a lot, like, you know, a lot of people don't want to buy the plane. You know, the money could work out after a while. You know, you got to do a lot of math to figure this stuff out to see how you want to do it. Like this one here looks like a reasonable deal. It looks clean inside. 147 is not a bad price. The year's not bad. M20J is a good version of it. But then if you look down here, it's got 1,823 hours, and it's got 2,000 hour TBO. So you've got you've got 177 hours before it needs an overhaul, like we were talking before. So if you look at the engine, it doesn't show you what model engine it has, which is silly. The nice thing with the Moonies is they're fast and they don't burn a ton of fuel. So the one I showed you before, the Cessna 172's 7.5 gallons per hour, it goes about 120 knots. So this one goes 155 knots. So 35 extra knots. So you're going an extra 35 miles in that hour for an extra 3 gallons. So for 18 extra bucks, you've gone an extra 35 miles. So if you're going long distances, that starts to cut it down a little bit because you start cutting down your times because you're going a little faster. They don't have the engine in the Mooney. Moonies, I like Moonies. I've always loved Moonies. They're fun planes. So you gotta do a lot of stuff to like run these numbers. But like that's close to overhaul. I get nervous going this old on a plane to the 60s. This one is a newer Mooney. It's only 20 years old. It says the big engine in it, 310 horsepower. There's a bunch of stuff though. Ice protection system, factory oxygen, air conditioning, speed brakes. All these things sound great. You have, like, it's not like a car. Here's their descent.
Descend and maintain flight level 350 and 666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie.
I gotta slowly drop the speed or it's gonna pick my nose up. picking my nose up to try to slow me down. I'll crack a little speed brake. We're going to probably need it here anyway. That will help bring my nose down. There we go. We're going down now. We'll descend at 7.7. What was I saying before the circus came to town? You know, so these things all sound good. Like, most airplanes don't have it. Like, most small airplanes don't have air conditioning. It sounds great, but, like, say, like, my air conditioning went out in my car. I need to go get it done. It's fine. My air conditioning went out in my car. I just, okay, don't have air conditioning. If something goes out in your airplane, it needs to be checked by maintenance and placarded. It has to be done. You know, and so factory oxygen is great, but, you know, you need to make sure that's working. You know, speed brakes, great, but if the speed brakes break, you're in trouble now. You know, so those things are like, that can easily start causing you problems. You have an extra blade on your propeller, which sounds great until you need to go get work done on it. You know? Those are some of the things that can cause problems. You know, that people don't think about. You know, so like a Mooney, I would love to have a Mooney, but it's just, it's going to get, like, it's something that would be expensive. Like, this is a $64,000 Mooney. It's 1964. Old, man. It doesn't have a lot of total time, though. It's got 3,195 hours, so it doesn't have a lot on frame. $200 horsepower engine. It's got 892 with a TBO of 2,000. So it's got a lot of time. It's got 1,200 hours left on it. It's old. Got to be careful with some of that too. Let's look at this overhaul cost. Like, you got 1,200 hours in the overhaul. Like, for example, I could go fly this for 600 hours and probably sell it for a reasonable price because it still has 600 hours on it. So about, yeah, see this isn't too bad. $24,000 to $26,000 for the overhaul. Not bad.
666, Charlie, Charlie, descend and maintain flight level 290.
290.
Descend and maintain flight level 290 and 666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie.
All right, I'm going to really start knocking us down here because we need to make 11,000 feet in about 80 miles. So we got about 10 minutes, and we need to get down. Let's see, what are we doing here? What is it, 11,000? Yeah, so we need to get about 22,000 feet. So I need to go at least 2,200 feet per minute, which we're rocking. We're rocking our way down. I got to keep the descent speed up, or we're never going to make that point there. Hopefully she'll keep me going down. I'm gonna go pull the spoilers here so we don't crash into the speed here. I'll start bringing the nose back up. This would be so uncomfortable as a passenger. You would not want to be doing this. We're at 4,200 feet per minute. I'm fixing it right now. I'll plan it myself. That's why we didn't like flight level change. We never used it early in the airlines, was it's not comfortable. Flicks in, flaxy all around. All right, 300 for 290. All right, so we're about, we got about 10 more minutes. And we got to go down 18,000 feet, so we got to make at least 1,800 feet per minute. So if we make 2,000 feet per minute, we'll make that crossing restriction. Again, you have to make your crossing restriction, so you got to do the math in your head. So, seeing we're going down slow here, I'm going to go to 500 feet per minute to try to get her to give me the next altitude, because I don't want to capture if I can avoid it. So should get another altitude here in a second. 100 feet off of it, so I'm waiting for it. They like to give it to you late in game. Oh, nice. I'll have to take a look there, Citrals. right, temperature is, we're right at freezing.
N666cc, November 666.
Here it is.
Charlie, Charlie, descend and maintain flight level 210.
Descend and maintain flight level 210 N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie.
I'll bank on 2,000 feet per minute, and then I'll do the final check when we get close. But we need to be at 11,000 at our next waypoint. So. All right, briefing the approach again, really quick. I'll do it on the side, but 1097 is in. 101 is the final approach course. Decision altitude, let's put that in. DH, we're pretty much 10 feet. 10 foot. Decision height, landing elevation is set. All right, remember, we got to go down to 11,000 feet, right? We can only do it at 250 knots. So we also have to slow down. We also have to lose a considerable amount of speed. So I'm going to hold back the speed a little bit. I won't go that bad. Let's go 7-0. Let's go ahead and check our weather, where we're landing. Let's see. Altimeter is 29 or 9 or 6. There's Puerto Rico here. It's all Puerto Rico. San Juan's up here. So we're going to have about 20 miles to make that crossing restriction. And we're going to be so we got to do 10,000 feet in 20 miles. And we're currently going 7 miles a minute. So we're talking 3 minutes. We got to get down 10,000 feet. So we'll start slowing down. That will give us more time. All right, we're currently, what's our speed? We're a little bit fast. Let's drop it to 6.5. Get us slowed down to 250. Or closer to 250. Again, that's buying us time. That's giving us a slower speed. We're now going from, we'll see, we're about 6.5 miles a minute. So it buys us a little bit of time. So it'll be 3 minutes, so we're gaining an extra mile and a half to get it done. All about doing, you just do your calculations to kind of figure all this stuff out. You don't want to screw up and miss your cross restrictions IRL. It's not a good deal. They're doing it so you don't have problems with other airplanes. You don't just do it for your health. All right, still 2,000 feet to go. She'll give us probably an altitude soon, for our next altitude. She'll give us the crossing restriction. I didn't see any speed limits on that approach. On the, let me see. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any speed restrictions on there. Yep, no speed restrictions. 220 for 210. And then our next altitude after that is this here, which is 6,000 at Milet. At above 6,000, it looks like. It's gonna be above 6,000, so we can go high on that one. All right, starting to level off. Let's see if she'll give us this altitude soon enough, but Cat just comes whenever I'm busy.
N666cc, November 666, Charlie,
Jeez,
Charlie.
fuck,
descend
Cat,
and
don't do it.
maintain
Stop.
50,000 feet.
Yeah, see, she's giving me all the altitudes late. Cat, stop. I gotta get rid of track IR here. It's causing me problems here. with the cat. The cat keeps bumping me. Trying to do it. 15,000 feet. Buddy, sit still. That's a good boy. Yeah, you're a good boy. You like literally like, I was sitting there doing nothing for a long time. Just surfing the internet and complaining. And he was doing nothing. And now, like, when I'm coming up to land, he wants to snuggle. And then when I took off, he wants to snuggle. He's just the silliest goose. You know Dad is busy, and that's when you come. Yeah, you're a good boy. You're a very nice boy. Alright, so if you look right here, see how we're going to hit 11,000 there? So we need to go down faster because we're not going to make it. So we're going to go to 300. I'm going to crack some spoiler. And I'm going to slow us down here. Let's get out of Mach mode and let's go to 250. We don't have to be below 250 at 11, but as soon as we get to that waypoint, they're going to want to descend us down for the next one, which is 6,000. So we might as well get slowed down for there. So if you look here, we're going to screw up our altitude because the game does everything late. 29906. 29906, 29906, going through 180. So this arc here is telling us when we're going to get to 11,000 feet. And so as you can see, we're at 15,000 at arc, so that's why I sped us up to try to get us there. All right, I'm going to just try to get us a little bit slowed down on the descent here so that she hopefully gives us the next one by the time we get close. 16,000 for 15,000. All right, starting to pull spoiler. All right, she needs to give us this next descent if we're going to make it on time. Always late. Game loves to give you all this. There we go.
November 666, Charlie Charlie, descend and maintain 11,000 feet.
11,000.
Descend and maintain 11,000 feet in 666 cc, November 666, Charlie Charlie.
So I gotta give it the beans to get down there. I want to make the crossing restriction. ATC could tell you don't need to make the crossing restriction, but game doesn't know what it's doing. I'd rather, it's good practice to do it. See, like, we're already, like, I have to go a nuts descent rate. I have to go 4,000 feet per minute to make that crossing restriction because she gave it, like, I still not going to make it in time because she gave it to me too late. So that's an in-game ATC, not knowing what it's doing thing. Yeah, part of it too is it doesn't know how fast, like, it can't estimate how fast every plane is, so it's guessing in a sense. You probably, like IRL, they know how fast you're going, and they kind of have some notion of when they need to give it to you. Alright, we're at 12,000 for 11,000. Get rid of some of that rate. That rate was nuts. Alright, it's already capturing because we're descending so fast. We just, like, see, we're 700 feet off, and that was me trying all my tricks to get there. All right, she should be giving us the next altitude here for 6,000. We got a little bit of ways to go. We got 20-something miles, so they might keep us leveled out. I'm just gonna stay at 250 to buy time. 1815.
Charlie Charlie, contact San Juan Center on 118.15. Good day.
Okay, cat's gone. There we go. Shit, I didn't hand off.
118.15 and 666 cc, November 666, Charlie Charlie. Goodbye. San Juan Center N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie, 11,000 feet.
N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie, San Juan Center altimeter 29.999 radar contact, continue to mileage.
9er.
N666cc,
Here's
November
descent.
666, Charlie, Charlie, descend and maintain 6,000.
6,000.
Descend and maintain 6,000 feet in 666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie.
We don't have to scream down on this one. All right, let me get some lists going here. All right, let's go. We should have done this already, but I'll put the seatbelt sign on. All right, sign set. Briefing has been accomplished for the ILS. We're all set. Altimeters are set 2999. Minimums are set 10. This is wrong. It's 210. I put that in wrong. It's 200 plus the altitude of the field. That makes sense. 210 decision height is in there, so minimums are 210. Ignition is going to be off. Landing elevation is set at 10 feet. All right. And the rest of the landing checklist. Airport should be up here off the left. All right, let's check the progress here of our altitude. We'll go down just a little bit. That's again why I wanted to slow down, so that we could take a nice leisurely descent here. We didn't need to scream in on this one. We have a weird leg in here that I'm going to fix when need be. Once we get past Remzi, I'm going to fix the leg. I don't know why. Something the game did. It's a heading that the game does. I don't know. It's a heading. It says something like that. I don't know what the deal is, though, but we're not doing that part. It's just, it's funky. We'll go tenor right to Remzi. Yeah. It's after Remzi.
N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie, contact San Juan.
119.4.
Good day.
119.4 N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie. Goodbye.
Okay, it's 405.
San Juan approach N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie is passing 6,900 feet, descending 6,000 feet.
N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie, San Juan, approach altimeter 30.00 radar contact, continue to mileage.
Pressure's going up. Turn my own sound up. Let me know if it gets too loud.
N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie, you are 19 around west. Descend and maintain 2,200 feet. Expect ILS runway 10 approach via VCAG transition. Clear to VCAG.
VCUG.
Descend and maintain 2,200 feet. Expect ILS runway 10 approach via VCAG transition. Clear to VCAG N666cc, November 666, Charlie, Charlie.
What did it say? VGUG. All right, VGUG. Where is it? I don't see VGUG. Okay. VCUG, huh? V E CUG D. The hell's a U? U. G. Alright, music coming off. Can't take the hammer into my ear while I'm doing this. Direct to VGUG. Insert that. Via VGUG transition, huh? That's strange. Okay, whatever she wants. She weirds me out too much. I'm just gonna do it by myself. That's a little weird. VGUG. I don't even see VGUG on the chart. What the hell is VGUG? What is... Why you give me the VGUG transition? I have the Tanner transition in there. Okay. Yeah, I'm supposed to go to Tanner. Why? I'm landing on 1-0. Why would I go to VGUG? Yeah, I don't know what she's doing here.
N666CC, November 666, Charlie Charlie. You are 13 miles west of San Juan. Contact San Juan Tower on
205.
132.05 when inbound.
Tower on 132.05 and 666cc, November 666, Charlie Charlie. San Juan Tower and 666cc, November
Alright,
666,
I'm dropping it.
Charlie 11 miles west inbound, ILS runway 17 approach.
N666cc, November 666 Charlie Charlie, San Juan Tower. Altimeter tree 0.01 wind 09er tree at 12. Clear ILS runway 10 approach.
I gotta get moving here on everything. I'm slow. Late, rather. He
Cleared
bitches
ILS
at me. I'm gonna be
runway 10
annoyed here.
approach and 666cc, November 666, Charlie Charlie.
Our runway's in sight. Let's go on visual. Let's go into land mode. You can hear me spool up the trim there. All right, next notch of flaps. I gotta do this quick. I'm running late on a lot of the stuff. All right, we're final. A little bit high. We can bring it down. That was a weird turn she gave me. I don't know. That was the one I was worried about. I don't know what the deal is with that turn.
N666cc,
I gotta get up profile here.
Charlie Charlie wind 09er tree at 12. Clear to land runway 10.
Clear to land, clear to land, clear to land. See, I gotta get off the airplane to do this because this is where the first officer would, or the pilot not flying would be doing this shit. And I have to do everything. And he's gonna bitch at me if I don't answer him in half a second.
666cc, November 666, Charlie Charlie.
All right, we're high, but we're settling in. I'm keeping the nose up so I get that last notch of flaps to settle in. All right, there we go. We're starting to settle. Get rid of this bullshit here. There we go. All right, let me turn track IR back on. There we go. All right. I gotta get down on the glide slope here. Not that far off. Don't want to like chase it too bad, but I'm a little bit off. These older engines take a second to spool up. So. All right, we're on glide slope. We're coming back on localizer here, a little bit of speed. There we go. All right, landing gear's down, 3 green, flaps are set. Spoilers are... All right, I already armed them. Spoilers are armed. Forward takeoff checklist complete. Clear to land. A lot of palm trees coming in here right on the approach end.
400.
400. I like to look at these trees, even though I know I'm good.
300.
300. Feels low, man. Feels real low. We're not, but it feels low. Those trees are making me nervous. Oh, Jesus.
200.
I'm getting too handsy here. We're clean.
100.
Alright, we're fixed.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Alright, going off to high speed on the left here. It's dark on the approach end there.
November 666 Charlie Charlie, turn next taxiway. Then 666 CC November 666 Charlie Charlie, contact ground on 121.9er.
21.9er. He bitches at me instantly if I don't get over there. Again, this is when you'd have the FO, or the, yeah, this time you'd have the FO grabbing it.
121.9er and 666 CC November 666 Charlie Charlie. Goodbye. San Juan ground.
Grab
at
San Juan's
666
ground.
CC November 666 Charlie Charlie, request taxi to parking.
Then 666 CC November 666 Charlie Charlie, taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway November tree.
Shit, I meant to go to the gates.
Taxiing to general aviation
I gotta
parking via taxiway
call.
November tree and 666
Supposed to be going to
CC November
gates.
666 Charlie Charlie.
So I change it. Shit. It's fucking me here. I screwed up. I'm supposed to be going to the gates here, and I put parking. I need a gate. See if there's a GA place for me to park. Screw it. We're just gonna park at the gate. I'm not fucking around here. I clicked the wrong button, and now it won't let me fix it, which is silly. It's like, let me fix it. If it's something silly, let me fix it. So all I have to do is call and be like, taxi the gates. And it won't let me have that back. So I'll just park at a gate. We'll call it there. Oh shit, I clicked the wrong button. Come on, give it to me. Awesome. It did the thing where it removed the radio. There we go. Alright, shut down. Oh, stop. Game makes it hard sometimes. Alright, good. That was a good flight. Down to San Juan. Bunch of night on that one. That was good. But yeah, that was a fun flight. Good to get down there. Probably bang around South America for a little while. But if you guys like the video, make sure you like the video. If you're new and you're not subscribed and you enjoy the content, consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.